What's up, my brother? EX Marcus just dropped, and I'm going to be real with you, my brother. This might be one of the worst EX units they've dropped in OPBR. And here's the craziest part. The moment they released him, he was already countered. Already countered, brother. Before anyone even got to use him properly in League, he's already countered. And let me break down exactly who counters this bird and whether you should even bother pulling for him. Quick shout out to today's sponsor, Sky Castle. Basically, it's a top-up service that saves you up to 30% on mobile games. Yes, my brother, up to 30% off. Multiple payments methods, low fees, and 24/7 Discord support with thousands of happy customers. Link is in the description, so go check it out. Okay, so before we get into the counters, let me explain why this unit is already in trouble. EX Marcus has a trait that says recover HP when enough damage is taken to KO character. Sounds great on paper, right? Yes, sir. Like, okay, this bird is going to be hard to kill or KO. But here's the thing. That trait is already countered by units that are currently running around in League right now. Not future units, not units they haven't released yet. Units that are already in the meta as we speak. And Marcus also has another trait. When attacked by an enemy whose skills can evolve, reduce damage received by 50% and reduce enemies attack by 20%. Again, sounds amazing on paper. Like, okay, this bird was built to survive Nuzjuro and Zorsan. But in reality, in actual League gameplay, it doesn't matter. The numbers don't add up. And I'm going to show you exactly why with every single counter right now. Counter number 1. And this one is honestly embarrassing for the devs. It's Zorsan. Yes, EX Zoro and Sanji duo. The unit that's been running the meta for months now. The unit that everyone already has. That unit can demolish EX Marcus with absolutely no sweat. How crazy is that? They drop a brand new 7.5 anniversary EX unit and it gets cooked by a unit that's already been out for a while. They didn't even try to counter Zorsan with this release. That's crazy. And look, Marcus has that trait specifically to reduce damage from skill evolving units by 50%. That should help against Zorsan, but even with full gauge, Zorsan still won't taps this birdie. Is it a bug? Is it a calculation error? I genuinely don't know. Mr. Tanapi, sir, is this intentional? Because on paper, this bird was built to survive. Zorsan, in reality, it absolutely does not. Someone needs to explain this though. Counter number 2, EX Blue Luffy, and actually this one makes sense because Blue Luffy is still a strong unit in the current meta, and that is nice to highlight Luffy right now. His damage output is still insane, and against the bird, specifically, he can stop him with no sweat. Clean matchup for Luffy, brother. But here's the bigger picture. The Luffy or Blue Luffy banner is still up right now, which is interesting timing. And while Luffy counters the bird, Garp V2 is still lurking in League and can cook Blue Luffy. So if you are running Blue or EX Luffy specifically to counter the bird, just be aware that Garp V2 is still out there waiting for you. That might be my Garp V2. But against EX Marcus, Luffy is a solid counter. Easy matchup though. Counter number 3. And this one genuinely surprised me when I saw it in League. Garp. Yes, Garp. Mr. Garp. EX Garp. Grandpa Garp. I saw Garp in League countering the EX bird, and I had to do a double take. Is Garp back in the meta? Short answer, not really. Garp's purpose right now is specifically to counter the bird, and that's it. That's it. If you are lucky enough to face an enemy team running Whitebeard, Blackbeard, and the bird together, then Garp can actually cook all 3 of them, which is nice. But let's be realistic. It's still going to be really hard for Garp to survive the damage output and AoE of all the current EX unit out there. So don't get excited thinking Garp is suddenly meta again. He's not. He's just a bird counter right now, and yeah, Whitebeard counter, Blackbeard counter, and nothing more. He's not the same Garp when they dropped him, but he's still a fun character to use. And once you build him up properly and a good matchup, I think he can wipe out the enemy team. Counter number 4. Blackbeard V2, and yes, he can counter the bird using his skill 2. But here's the key thing with BBV2 against Marcus the bird. You need a good damage output first. You either need to damage the bird significantly before popping skill 2 or have enough damage output that his tremor powers can finish the job. So it's not an automatic win with BBV2. You need to play smart. Damage the bird first, then pop skill 2 for the finish. Is BBV2 a good unit to use right now in League? I would say yes, brother. He's not a busted character, but still very helpful in the current meta. And against EX Marcus the Bird, specifically, he gets the job done if you play him correctly. So if you have BBV2, you need to be careful, target runners, and you're good to go. Counter number 5. It's EX Lucci, and EX Lucci can actually one-tap the bird if you have good damage output built on him. Now, EX Lucci has a lot of counters against him in League right now. So it's going to be tough running him generally, but his specific purpose against EX Marcus is a chef kiss. It's perfecto. So the key tip here, make sure you transform into his awakened form first, okay? And then attack the bird inside the treasure area. That's when EX Lucci is most dangerous against Marcus. Time it right and the bird goes down fast. Good unit to use. Not the most meta pick overall, but against the bird specifically, he gets the job done. Counter number 6 is Stussy. And Stussy is actually a nice counter against the bird because of her HP cut trait. But, and this is important, Stussy is really only good against the bird when playing solo, alright? In team play situations, it gets complicated because she can't hold down multiple birds at once, or let's say treasure area. Think about it. If you are in League right now and the enemy has 4 EX Marcus birds all running at the same time, someone is capping A, someone is capping B, someone is capping C, and you are in your spawn. Stussy is not stopping all 4 of them. She just doesn't have the capacity for that skill, trait, or anything. So Stussy is a solid counter in 1 versus 1 situations against the bird. But in full team League scenarios, it's going to be tough for her to handle multiple birds at the same time or stop them from capping. So if you are having a hard time playing solo, popping Stussy might work at some point. Next counter, Kubo. And this one is actually a really good pick against the bird. But here's the key thing with Kubo. Make sure you are using Kuma's skills specifically, not Boney. Okay, Kuma's skill. That skill 2 is absolutely deadly against EX Marcus since EX Marcus doesn't have any shield or anything. So just pop that skill 2, time it right, and you're good to go. Kubo is already a solid unit in the current meta, and now with EX Marcus running around, he becomes even more valuable. If you have Kubo and you are struggling against the bird, switch to Kuma's skill set and watch what happens. Just pop it and you're good. A very good counter. Highly recommended running Kubo if you have him right now. Next counter is Kalgara, and this one is actually really interesting because Kalgara specifically nullifies the bird's most important trait: recover HP when enough damage is taken to KO character. Remember earlier when I said the key to counter EX Marcus is nullifying that specific trait? Kalgara does exactly that, and that makes him a natural counter against the bird. But Kalgara is not a meta-defining unit. He can cook the bird, yes. He can deal with some other units too, but overall he's still relatively easy to deal with in the current meta. So think of Kalgara as a situational counter. If you have him and you are specifically trying to stop the bird, he gets the job done. But don't expect him to suddenly become a meta just because he counters Marcus. Good counter for the bird, nothing more, nothing less. Let's talk about the good defenders against the bird. First, Kuzan. Kuzan can stall the bird. He can't necessarily KO him, but he can hold him down and buy time. Is stalling the bird actually useful? It depends entirely on your team. If you have a proper counter on your team who can come finish the bird off while Kuzan is stalling, then yes, absolutely. Stalling buys your teammate the time they need to slice that bird. But if there's nobody on your team who can actually counter the bird, then stalling is useless. The bird just waits out Kuzan's skills, captures the flag, and walks away like nothing happened. So Kuzan's effectiveness is completely dependent on your team composition. Next, S-Snake. Same situation as Kuzan. I tried it, by the way. She can stall the bird and is very annoying to deal with, but a good EX Marcus player who knows what they're doing can knock down S-Snake and capture the flag anyway. Both are solid against the bird in the right team setup, but neither of them alone is enough to stop a good Marcus player. You'll just knock them down every single time. Okay, so here's the most important thing I want you to take away from this video, and this is the key to countering EX Marcus. The bird is easy to counter once your unit has the ability to nullify the trait. Recover HP when enough damage is taken to KO character. That's it. That's the secret. Any unit that can nullify that specific trait makes Marcus significantly easier to deal with. So what does this all mean for your account right now? If you haven't pulled EX Marcus yet, save your rainbow diamonds, wait for the second EX. The second anniversary EX is almost always better than the first, and based on what we're seeing with Marcus being already countered by existing units, the second EX has a very good chance of being significantly stronger. Remember the rule, if a new character can get countered by old units that are already in the meta, it's an easy skip. Unless you want a challenge, unless you just love Marcus as a character, then go for it. Now, do I personally regret pulling this EX Birdie? Honestly, no. It felt like a free EX to me because I got him during my win streak challenge on stream. Yeah, win strike, not lose strike, 100%. Why would I regret that? And look, I'm already used to getting one tap as a runner main, so I can work with this bird until the next EX drops. He's not the worst unit ever. He's just in the wrong meta at the wrong time with the wrong counters already existing, and that's on the devs, not on the character himself. But yeah, I would say he's mid. So that's my complete breakdown of EX Marcus weaknesses and counters. All of them can deal with this bird in different ways. So my final verdict, interesting unit, fun to play at some point, but not meta defining. Save your rainbow diamonds and wait for the second 7.5 anniversary EX. So let me know in the comments, did you pull EX Marcus? Do you regret it, or are you happy with him? And which counter do you think is the most effective against the bird? And you know what? That's it for this video. You know the drill. Stay salty and stay awesome. And Salty Rock now signing off.